What's up, besties? It's your girl Morgan here, and you're listening to Your Internet Best Friend. What is up, besties? I'm just going to get right into it because I don't think anyone understands how excited I am for this podcast. So I'm going to introduce our guest, and then I'm going to get into the backstory of why this is happening, how it came about. But first, joining me in studio in Nashville is the man, the myth, the legend. I'm actually lying. I don't know a lot about him because I just met him for the first time 10 minutes ago, but I'm assuming he's the man, the myth, and the legend. It is Fletch, the window washer. Fletch, welcome.
Hey. How's it going?
Okay, so you're not actually Fletch, the window washer. What is your full legal name for the people?
It's Fletcher Conrad Denning.
Oh, there we go. Well, I'm going to call you Fletch, the window washer for the sake of this podcast, but I don't think I've mentioned this to you, so I'm going to fill you and the people in of how this came about, how you're sitting in this chair. So one day I go to Quantum. Do you know where the Quantum?
I've seen the building.
Yes. So that's the gym I work out at. I was leaving and I was walking up to my building and I saw your crew of window washers and friends listening. I live in a high rise in downtown Nashville, like 29 buildings.
Tallest in
or
Nashville.
29 floors, big building. So I walk out and I see you guys just dangling. Like so high up, and I just remember my jaw dropped, and I posted on my Instagram story just randomly, and I was like, I wonder what they're doing up there. Like, do they talk to each other? Or they listen to podcasts? And then I was like, will one of them come on my podcast? And then I kind of forgot about it. Then a couple weeks later, I noticed, because I'm in one of the corner units, so like all glass. So I see the ropes, and I realized this was my time. So I ran over. I had a piece of paper and I wrote in Sharpie and I said, hi, I want you on my podcast. And I wrote the handle of my podcast and I said, like, I promise I'm normal because, like, I needed you guys to know that. And I taped it to the window, but I'm very sad because I don't think, did you see the sign?
We did not see it. We did not.
I know. So my efforts, they didn't work. And everyone on Instagram was like, did they message you? Did they DM you? Are you getting them on the podcast? And I had to let everyone know. I was like, I'm so sorry. No, they didn't. Then a couple weeks go by and one of my random internet besties out there messaged me, sent me your TikTok profile and was like, hey, so random. I think I found your window washer.
Yeah.
And then I shot you a DM and now you're sitting in my podcast chair.
Yeah, you told me the same thing. You were like, please, I'm not weird. Yeah, that was in your message. That was like your first message.
I felt the need to let you know that I am so normal. Because I don't know. I feel like maybe you think I'm a catfish. I don't know.
No.
Okay.
I've had some weird people
really
reach out to me before. Not like you, but just like weird ones that, like, I got down to the bottom of the building one day and this lady had made me like a full-on Chinese meal. You know, I'm not even kidding, dude. And because she said she poked out of her balcony, right?
Okay.
And she was like, hey, I think one of y'all left your hoodies here. And I was like, oh, I appreciate it. You know, you can just drop it down at the bottom or something. She was like, oh, I'll meet you down there. And I was like, okay, cool. It'll be about an hour or so. And like, no problem. I'll wait. And I was like, okay. You know, so keep in mind, she's probably like in her 50s or higher, you know, and like, so I get down there and she's holding this hoodie in one hand and holding this to-go box in the other, and she comes up to me and she was like, hey, I was making food, by the way, and I made you some Chinese food and I washed your hoodie. It's got a really good scent.
She washed your hoodie.
Oh yeah, she washed the hoodie and everything.
Oh, she wanted you to smell like her.
Luckily it wasn't actually my hoodie. It was the old man Roberts, you know, who does a lot of our caulking for us. He's awesome though.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, but so he got that and he got the Chinese food. I don't know if he ate it or not because I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be trusting that. You know, there's some crazy people in the world. You made the right move.
I did. Ever since that one bad evening on Broadway, I don't make those decisions anymore.
Excuse me. Oh my God. What happened on Broadway?
People think it only happens to women. I got roofied one night on Broadway, man. Yeah, it was bad.
We're going from window washing to being roofied on Broadway. What bar?
Nashville Underground.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a bit. And I was there with my friends, and I was with some Hispanic women, and I've got a past, you know, from like a decade ago.
Okay.
You know, I'm like 10 years sober now,
Good
but
for
like
you.
in my past, so it's like I know when something's coming on, you know what I mean? And I felt it coming on, and I had stopped drinking like 2 hours before, and it was almost like like an out of body effect. You know, like my body was sitting there, but it was like someone could probably use me as a doll if they wanted. Yeah, you were just so limp and just out of it. I went and sat down to the hot dog vendor and waited like 2.5 hours till my brother was able to make it down and get me. I was like, dude, I ain't driving. I ain't leaving public. I need you to come get me. You know.
Did you at least eat a hot dog?
Yeah, I ate a hot dog. But the
okay.
weirdest thing is when I got home, I was still faded like that till probably like 6:30, 7 a.m. Like, you know, people are like, nah, he was just drunk. Like, no, dude, it wasn't alcohol. Like,
Yeah,
it
no,
was,
I've heard
was,
you know if you've been roofied.
and it ever since that though, it really kind of sketched me out a bit.
Well, because it's the most invasive feeling ever.
Yeah.
It's like you think that you're just drinking your drink or eating your Chinese food.
Yeah.
And it could be essentially poisoned.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're alive.
Yeah, me too.
I'm happy
me too.
You're not eating that Chinese food. I'm happy you survived your roofie experience. Okay, let's dig into window washing because one, you seem very passionate about it, and I love a person who is just passionate about something. So love that for you. How did you get into this career? Like, how does one do you audition? Do you apply online? Indeed.com?
Long story short, I became a single dad. You know, me and my son's mom separated, and I was a bartender for years.
Okay.
You know, I realized I couldn't live that life anymore. You know, those hours, you know, those schedules. I need to do something different. And my best friend, since we were like 16, had already been doing it.
Okay.
And he was like, bro, I've been telling you for like 2 years, you'll kill it. You're not afraid of heights. Your body build, like you are perfect for it. So I come and meet his boss, and he was like, "Yeah, you want to start in like a week or two?" I was like, "No, I want to start today." You know.
Oh my God.
And so I went and learned how to clean windows on the ground for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then he I went over a 15-story for my first building, and he didn't want me to go over. He wanted me to have more training, but I was kind of really eager to do it, you know. And then I fell out of my seat. You know, out of my bosun chairs, what we call them, bosun chairs. And so I was dangling down there for probably about 20 minutes until my buddy John could come over and help me back into it out of that situation.
And that was your very first time?
Yeah, it was my very first time.
All right, casual.
You know, but, you know, you figured out, you know, what happened, you know, that my gear works. You know, that's the biggest thing is, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm more worried about the I-40 traffic getting to downtown killing me than jumping off any of these buildings downtown. You know, any of them. Because the traffic is just out of control.
I mean, the traffic's bad, but just the thought of dropping that far, you're not surviving that. You might survive a car crash, but you're not surviving that drop. Wait, so you get hired. You're like, all right, I'm going to start today. It's like, could I go be a window?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to have like certain qualifications. Do you have to lift?
You'll get training on the job.
Okay.
You know, they call it like Sprat 1, 2, and 3, and different certifications, however many log hours you have on the clock. You know, depending where you live. Not every state's that way. Nashville's pretty awesome in that aspect. You know, so it's like when I first started. Within 6 months, some of the buildings I was doing within 6 months, I shouldn't have been doing till I had been doing this career 3 or 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, literally other places of the country, they're just like, y'all are wild, you know? But it's like, I understand safety, and the whole crew I work with, you know, we are a good crew, all good friends, you know, and it's just like, when you have a good crew like that, you don't have someone that's like using drugs. And I hate to say it, in blue collar work, there is a lot of people that use, you know, and I've had people come to me, you know, that want a job or want to work with me. And the thing is like, I don't hold anything against someone that has a drug problem or has anything like that. But at the end of the day, I can't trust you around me or any of my guys or yourself.
Your life is on the line.
It's just not worth it. But there's plenty of crews around downtown Nashville, you know, it don't matter what industry, or it's blue collar, you know, you go to most of these job sites, you got a lot of people that are using stuff. I mean, there's national stories. There's just like one a couple of years ago where one window cleaner nodded out on some 40 story for like 2 hours. They had fire trucks down there beneath him, you know, then someone just walked up and were like, what are y'all doing? Like, we think something's bad. He just like shook dude's rope, and that woke him up like that, you know, but it's just
wild.
You know, but if you trust the people you're with, you're good. You know, it's like generally if something happens to you, it's user error most of the time. When something happens to one of us, it's user error or like a freak accident.
So I'm so curious. I have so many things running through my mind right now. But how does one even start? Like, do you go to the top of the building? Do you start from the bottom of the building? Walk me through. You're cleaning my building, my 29 floor building. How in the hell do you do it?
Okay, that question, it's always the funniest question to me.
Why?
When people ask me, do you start at the top or the bottom?
I know that seems so dumb now that I said it out loud.
Gravity. So
top.
If you started at the bottom and you started washing the bottom window and then you went to the second floor, where would that runoff go?
Fletch, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. We're recording this in the evening.
amount of people that ask that question is just hilarious to me. Yeah, we start at the top and work our way down.
All right, for the dumb people listening who are also curious like me, they start at the top. Okay, so you start at the top. Is there like a window washing? Like, would you take the elevator in my building all the way up?
Yeah.
And then there's just like a little.
Yours and your elevators, the normal ones go all the way up to the 45th floor.
Okay.
And then there's a service one that does too. And then you go through a back alley towards the penthouses, and there's another stairwell. And only in one of the stairwells, you'll go up 2 flights of stairs, and you got to have a master key for the building to unlock that door and shut it back. Then you go through all your engine rooms, your whole building's maintenance rooms, all that stuff.
Fascinating.
And you go through that and then go out another door. You need a master key. And then you go up like a 15-foot ship ladder up into a huge top roof area. And then you got to go up like a 15-foot parapet wall with ladders.
No.
And then go over that top.
Did you have to during the snowstorm? Were you guys out there during that?
We took off that whole week, but the first day we came back, that's the thing. We were trying to get your building done before that hit. We had 1 day left to work to have it all done. And all that snow came, so we were out for like a week. And I got there late because my son, his school went 2 hours late. So by the time I got there, it was windy that day. We really shouldn't have even been hanging that day. We really shouldn't have. But we just wanted to get your building done. So I get to the roof, and the other guys are already like a third of the way down the building at this point. And there's just fucking snow everywhere, dude.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Just
everywhere, ice, and it's shady. And I'm trying to move this massive ladder, and it slipped. I had to throw that thing, about impaled me, So then I finally get that set up, and I get over. And the shitty thing, I'm sorry if I'm cussing.
No, curse all you want. I curse like a sailor on this podcast.
So I get over, and the shitty thing about starting by yourself on a windy day and a big all-glass building is when those guys make it about 20, 25 stories down, our safety lines have no weight on them. You're hanging on one line, and the other line's your safety.
Okay.
And so the more you get it out, like, it's going to start with that wind whipping. It's kind of pulling it out and blowing those lines to everyone's.
Yes, I heard that. That's when I tape my sign. What caught my attention was I could hear
the slapping.
Yes.
And so I started later than them. So as I start making it down, I'm getting assaulted by all these ropes just coming over and hitting me in the face, about hitting my brush. I was cursing up a storm that drop. But we ended up getting it done. And I was just like, I will see you in 6 months, 505. That's how it goes every time.
So like the tall high rise every 6 months?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so happy I caught you when I did.
You did.
I would have to wait another 6 months.
Well, luckily, I'm right across the street from you, too, whenever you look at Viridian. We're doing the full restoration on that one.
I'll give you a wave. Y'all, remember how I said we were being finance girls this year? Well, I can't say I'm saving money by not shopping, but I am saving money because I'm getting so much less takeout because I've signed up for Factor meals, and y'all, it has been game-changing for me. They deliver meals straight to your door. It's fresh, not frozen, and ready to eat in seriously like 2 minutes. And I'm a big fan of microwave meals, and these are actually good. I'm not lying here. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals make eating better every single day easy. I do the high-protein meal options, but if that's not for you, you'll have over 35 different options a week, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning so easy and, more important, delicious. Every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious, which is very important for me, as you know. And they have a ton of snack options, smoothies, wellness shots, you name it. You can choose from 6 to 18 meals per week, and you can pause or reschedule anytime. I can't tell you guys enough how much I love my Factor meals. If you watch my Instagram stories, you know. They're amazing. So if you want to check them out, head to factormeals.com/internetbf50 and use code internetbf50 to get 50% off. Once again, that's code internetbf50 at factormeals.com/internetbf50 to get 50% off. Before we get into I have so many questions about crazy stories and injuries and etc. I really just need to know what do you tie the ropes to? I'm just so perplexed.
There's anchors.
And, okay, so there's anchors. But then, okay, you have a safety. You have your other rope. So is there a way that you can drop from top to bottom? Like if you fuck up? There is a way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this happened to me on 1222 Demumbrian Street. That building, we had underbid it. It doesn't pay great. So it's one of those ones where you have to grind all day and moving to make some money. Mm-hmm. And the rigging's terrible in that building. You pretty much have to, instead of it having an anchor where it has an anchor come up, it just has these things where it was built for stages, big stages around the thing. So you'll have to anchor here and then anchor here and then bring them together in Y tie and then back tie over there. And I was rushing and I didn't do my anchor right on my left one. When I went over the wall, I just started going down, both my lines just going down. No. And I went down and it was going slow. It wasn't going it was just going slow because my back ties, they caught it. But it took them a minute to catch it. And I was just going out, I looked at my buddy and I was like, bro, what the fuck? I was like, why am I going down? Why am I going down? He was like, bro, and his eyes got huge. He didn't know either. And then it finally stopped, after 2 floors. And I was like, dude, I think I must have messed up an anchor. I said, I think I'm on my back tie right now. And he was like, what are you going to do? I was like, swing over and hit those top 2 floors for me. I'm going to start here. And I went the rest of the way down. And then we got to the roof. And that's exactly what it was. It was my back tie. But, if your rope ever gets sliced, I had one of my buddies, I forget what building he was on. He works for my same company, but my boss's twin brother, he's got a crew as well. He worked for him at the time, and he didn't put a rope guard in the right spot, and a piece of metal sliced his rope in half, and luckily his safety line wasn't there too, or it probably would have hit it as well.
This is a morbid question. Do you know anyone who has died from doing this?
Personally don't. Have I met him in person? No, but amongst the window cleaning community, I think we've lost 3 this year,
That's kind of a lot.
Yeah, that honestly it was. Generally it's only 2 or 3 a year, and we lost literally 2 or 3 already. So it's I don't know. One of them was a 30-year veteran. And it was the same situation I was just talking about. His main line got caught on something, a building he had been doing for years, and it sliced his main line, and he dropped a bunch of the way down on his safety. And then so he thought he was good, you know what I mean? But then that safety slid into the same spot and it sliced that one, and it's just, it's heartbreaking, man. It's heartbreaking.
Do you ever think about that? When you go on the job, is that kind of in the back of your mind? I would be thinking about that constantly I know personally I couldn't do this job because I would be so worried that I would do something wrong in any second I'm falling to my death.
Yeah, the mental aspect of what we do is the most stressful part. That's a lot of people they're oh, it's physical labor, you're dangling off buildings, and it's dude, the mental aspect. It's when I'm on your building, 505, even though we have coned off areas and we tie our ropes down and stuff, my hand will stay in a grip like that after work. You know what I mean? Because I grip my tools so tight, but because I'm conscious of the people below me. That's what I worry about. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about you guys down there. But the thing is, a lot of people are oh, what if you drop somebody to kill somebody? You've seen your building. When people come up and they see window washers, if our ropes are here, they walk across the street to watch. No one's standing underneath
So that
us.
was one of my questions, because I have heard, science, you drop a penny from the Empire State Building, it hits someone in the top of the head. Yeah. It can apparently kill them.
Oh, yeah.
Which is wild. So, yeah, that was my question. Is have you ever dropped anything? I didn't know things were roped off. So if you do drop something, it's not going to hit me in the noggin?
No. My tools are not roped off. My tools are not roped off.
It could drop your bucket,
I could take
and
you
it
out.
Could hit me in the head. Have you ever dropped anything?
Never dropped my brush. I've dropped 2 squeegees before, but both of them was when I was doing pole work from a chair. So it was I had I was wetting up a window like way far away from me, having to use a pole out at an angle.
Okay.
And then I'd put the squeegee in my side right there, like I always do. Like when I'm pulling it out, when I was coming back, the pole knocked it off my board. You know, and that's happened to me twice. Ever since that, I put my squeegees back down in my bucket instead of just having them sit there. But actually in my hands, never.
Is there like a 3 strikes you're out penalty? Like your boss, like you drop, like what if there's a window washer and he keeps dropping his damn squeegees? Like eventually they're going to be like, dude, we're firing you.
He wouldn't work with us.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's the thing. Our company, we're the best in Tennessee and most of the surrounding states, and we're top 10 in the country at what we do. You know, and it's like to get to the level we're at and with this crew, that's like when people message me like, oh, are you guys hiring? You know, does it pay good? And it's like, when you get to this level, it does. But nobody wants to realize you got to put in some years of work.
Yeah.
You know,
everyone wants to just cut corners.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, I can get on the side of a building. It's like, no, you don't understand. If you get on the side of the building like 505 and you go top to bottom, and we get paid contract work. So we're paid by the glass we do. And that looks like shit. You're redoing it for free. Because we're not leaving it that way.
Okay.
You know, so it's like you either come correct and do it right, or you don't roll with us. You know.
Okay, you don't have to answer this, but I'm curious, and I know other people are going to be curious. What is the income for someone like starting off versus like you're a veteran, you have 20 years under your belt? What are you making then?
If you were in Nashville, you know, and you were getting trained, a lot of people would train you between 25 and 30 an hour.
Okay.
You know, that's them training you, groundwork, all that stuff, you know. But when you get to where I'm at, you don't want no hourly. You want contracts.
Right.
You know, that's where you write your own checks. You know, however hard you want to work. And that's what works out for me being a single father, because there's like, you know, some days if I get to a building like 505, you know, you can make between 500 and 600 a day on that building in 7 to 8 hours, you know. So it's like if you got a busy day or you got stuff to do with your kid, leave at noon and you've still made $250, $300, and you worked 3 or 4 hours, you know, or work all day and make 6. You know, it just depends on how much work you want to do.
So you're kind of in charge of your own hours, essentially?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't see my boss but like every couple weeks, you know, like, or unless I need something, you know. I mean, we have a really good relationship. When you work for like a family company like that, because him and his twin brother started it and they've been doing it for 40 years, you know, so that's why they're known like anywhere downtown, you know. Anywhere they are known. So it's just like, but the relationship we have with our boss too, and why he pays us the way he pays us, is because he can trust his guys. Because he told us like 2 years ago, he was willing to sell the whole company unless we wanted him to keep it going and keep getting contracts. He was like, I just want to be hands off. He was like,
wow.
You know, I'll keep it going, but you know, the minute y'all screw it up, y'all screw it up. And we didn't let that happen.
Are there any women on your team?
Surprisingly. And that's one thing that irritates me too. And I will always try and catch it, but sometimes there's a lot of comments that will knock women or be like, where are the feminists at, or where are the women in this field? It's like, the one woman who taught me a lot about what I know is a bad motherfucker.
I'm just imagining the badass women that if they are in that field, like they're they could kick my ass for sure.
But Tanya's almost in her mid 50s.
Damn.
And she's still rappelling off a Viridian across from yours right now, doing some of the painting right now. And dude, not to mention that, she's in great shape, beautiful for her age, you know what I mean? Absolutely beautiful, kind heart, you know, but her knowledge, man, it's like, cause she has that passion, you know, and that's one thing she instilled with me and my boss. Honestly, our whole crew, we don't see it as just like coming to getting a check, coming to do that. Like, we all really enjoy what we do, you know what I mean? Like, most of us rock climb on the weekends and other stuff like that. So it's just, you know, like we tell people, we don't get paid to repel. We get paid to clean windows. We get paid to caulk. We get paid to window clean. And sometimes it's just a little bonus, you know. But on real pretty days like today, it was fantastic. It was great.
God.
It was great.
I'm actually jealous. I was sitting inside filming dumb content all day long. I would have much rather been outside looking at the view in Tennessee.
It was nice. Yeah, that HCA spot, you're kind of away from a lot of the downtown area right there. You can still see the interstate and stuff. It's just a different little area. I like that. That's one thing I love about what we do, is I'm never, you know, I'll go to the same places. Like, I'm at your building twice a year doing the tower, which is what we call the whole building. but I'm at your building at least every other month, doing your interior lobbies, doing floor 7.
Let me know next time you're there. We'll get a coffee.
Yeah. I actually just took one the other day. As many years as I've been doing that, I've never taken one from floor 7, and I finally did. I was like, I feel like having a coffee today.
The coffee on floor 7, fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Next time, get a chai.
I don't drink enough coffee to even know what that is.
Get the chai. Just trust and believe. Press that little chai button. Okay. It's fantastic.
Okay. Well, I'll try that next time.
Look, next time you're there, actually, every time you're in 505, I spend so much money on rent there. I want everyone taking their coffee. I want all my friends coming. I'm just like, take.
Is it expensive?
It's
you got the first 2 months free, though, right?
Did I don't even know what I got, but
just joking about they're always advertising.
I'm sure they conned me with something. But you know what's my biggest pet peeve about 505? Well, there's like a few things. It's a beautiful building. The parking, for me to park my car, where else are you gonna park in Nashville? You have to
nowhere.
You have to park in the garage. It's $250 a month.
A month?
A month for me to simply park my vehicle. What's the craziest thing you've seen? Have you seen anything crazy? You have to have seen something wild.
I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff, but one of the weirdest things, man, this happened recently.
Okay.
And it was weird because, like, I'm painting, right? And so that's not like I just come down to your window, gone. You know what I mean? But I'm painting on the side, like the windows are here, and I'm painting this column in between, like doing the real edging, making sure it's all nice. And so it takes a while, and I come down, and I just kind of glance over out of the left of me, in the glass. Like I said, I'm not really paying attention, but I glance, and there's this man just sitting in his just whitey-tighty underwear. Old man, like probably 60s.
Okay, 60.
And he's sitting there eating a bowl of cereal, right?
Sometimes you want a bowl of cereal.
This makes it, but he's sitting there eating it in his underwear, and he's staring at me, right? And so he's yeah. And so when I glance over and like catch him, like we make eye contact, he just keeps staring and just keeps eating. He stands up and walks in front of the glass and just keeps eating. And then he goes to turn around and walk away, and there's stains all on his ass. No. And dude, that was probably my buddy John was losing it. I was like, bro, this is so weird, man. And I was just like mumbling under my breath, like trying to be quiet. And I was like, this is weird, dude. Like, oh my God, I just want to get past this area. Most of the funny stuff are people's animals, though. Dogs are my favorite. I love when dogs come out onto balconies and I can just sit there and play with them for a little bit if I'm next to one. That makes my day.
I'm suddenly being sold. I need to switch my career. You get to hang out. You get to chit chat with your friends. You get to pet dogs. You get to hang from cool buildings.
Just eat different places, wherever part of town I'm working, whether I'm in Belmead, Donaldson, Brentwood, Cool Springs, you name it. Wherever I'm at. That's how I plan my week. If I know all right, I'm gonna be in Brentwood, okay, well we're definitely going to Fu Lin's twice this week because I love their Chinese. It's like forever at Cummins Station. It's like definitely gonna go to Morning Glory because they have some of the best Phillies. You ever had their Phillies?
No.
Get their Philly cheesesteak sandwich.
Okay.
And the Cummins Station, like the little Chinese man.
Yes.
At Morning Glory, they are so good, and that couple is so nice who runs that place, but that's like the same with Manny's. You remember the arcade, Manny's, that had been there for 40 years and just shut down?
No.
Yeah, well, you missed out then. Okay. That was some of the best pizza you could have got.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Because someone asked this, and I put up a Q&A box. Have you ever walked in, or not walked, dangled in on anyone hooking up?
I've never came on anyone hooking up. I did when I was doing 5th and Broadway a few years back. I guess there was some influencer girls down there that were taking pictures by the pool.
It's me.
And I hollered and was like, hey, the pictures are up here, And so later on, we're going through the elevator, and they happened to come in the elevator with us, and they were just shooting the shit, talking. I was like, that's hilarious. They're like, yeah, I think you're about to do our building. I said, if you're shifting this way, ours is the top penthouse up there. And I was like, oh yeah, definitely am. So we come down and start going down, and these two girls just put on a full-on striptease in front of all the guys.
You're lying.
And I was just like, oh man, yeah. But yeah, I've never came down. That's what I'm saying. We never see anything that people don't want us to see because
they know. You can tell.
They know, and y'all see us coming way before you hear us coming. You see the ropes, and it's like we really have to be paying attention to be looking. I didn't even see your note. The amount of times that's happened.
No.
It's like if we're just focusing on watching our
maybe
squeegee.
Maybe it was someone else on your crew because I'm like,
They would have said
note.
something.
Yeah.
They would have got excited too.
I know. I'll have to show you the photo of the note. It was a good note, but whatever. Everything worked out because now you're sitting doing my podcast. Have you had any crazy injuries as you literally walked in and you said, I have a gash on my head. So I know you've had some crazy injuries.
You see this thing?
I can see it. Yeah. It's a deep
cut it
gash
right open.
right there.
And we get in the service elevator with like 15 other people, and they're clicking every single button. And I was like, I'm trying to get to the roof to get to the first aid kit, man. I got to spray this.
I got some blood dripping down my head.
Oh, it was just pouring. My buddies were like, bro, keep getting it. It just keeps coming. I was like, what do you want me to do about it?
How did you get this gash today?
I wasn't even cleaning windows.
Oh,
I was refilling my bucket, and I was leaned down getting water, and I just turned real quick, and a door lock thing was right there and just dug right in and sliced into it. Yeah.
So when that happens, you have to keep cleaning, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Blood dripping down, keep squeegeeing.
Yeah, on your building alone, I gashed 3 of my fingers open, not this last clean, but the clean before that, right at the top when I was going over the ladder. And they were gushing a good bit of the ways down. I had to like keep cleaning blood off the panels and stuff. And the next day we come in and there was just like the ladder I went to walk up was just blood all over it. It's just like,
not
man.
for the faint of heart.
No.
Do you have to work out a lot?
Honestly, what we do is a workout. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get big, you have to work out. If you want a climber's build and just to be, in really good shape, you can do what we do.
Because it's, I'm assuming, incredibly strenuous.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the thing is, you use muscles you never even know you have. Because we've had some guys come on that was like ex-Marine, massive, big buff guy, goes to the gym every day. And it's like, he tried one day with us. And he was just like, I don't know how y'all pulling these ropes. And it's like, yeah, you have really pretty muscles, but you don't have strength. You don't have endurance. You have pretty muscles because you go and take creatine and work out for 30, 40 minutes and, shave your arm. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But you don't have strength or endurance. You know what I mean? And it's just like,
So someone who shows up and they're like kind of skinny or they're like a meathead in the gym, would your boss turn them away?
No.
Well, what if they can't hold their own on the side of a building?
That's the funniest thing. We have 2 guys right now, and they're older. They're like 45-ish and not the best shape. You know what I mean? They've been with my boss for the last month or so, just trying to learn groundwork, window cleaning, and then whenever I'm pressure washing, they'll watch my hose up top, and sometimes they'll help pull up ropes. And the other day, I come to the top, and it was taking 2 of them to pull up one rope, and they were just dying, man, just dying. And so I asked him, I was like, hey, man, I'll take over for you guys. I got it. No worries. My boss comes up. He was like, no. He was like, I need to get some muscle on these 2. You've got yours. He was like, I got to get a little muscle on those 2. I was like, man, they're dying.
Honestly, what a great way for a dude to get in shape.
Oh, it really is, man. I mean, I'm in the best shape I've been in my life.
Really?
Because when I was growing up, I was, I started the bowling team at my high school. I played World of Warcraft and I read books. I love Harry Potter. Like, I'm
What's
a huge
your favorite
nerd.
book? I love me a good book.
My favorite book, not the movie, Ready Player One. Is an amazing book.
Okay, I haven't read that.
Damon and Freedom TM are fantastic, and that's one of the few book series. Well, I will actually tell you, I love the sequel more than the original, which is a rare thing in books. And then, of course, the Harry Potters. Because I do
Harry
audibles.
Potter out of the whole entire series. I'm going to judge you on your answer.
Right. When it comes to books, Order of the Phoenix.
Really?
It is one of the best books when it gets into
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Well, that's always a great one.
So good.
But that's one of the best movies because they didn't leave a lot of details out.
True.
You go to Order of the Phoenix, they don't even talk about Dobby and the elves. They don't even talk about why Hermione is so upset the entire time with Ron and them when she's starting the whole thing to free the house elves. They don't talk about any of that.
Oh, he knows his Harry Potter.
I listen to Audible so much when I'm working. Oh yeah.
Oh, that was my next question. Well, one, now you have a new podcast to listen to while you're up there.
Oh, yours are actually podcast? They're just like vocal?
Yeah.
So you do it like
We're on YouTube, and you can listen to it.
Okay, so what about Spotify? Are you on that?
We're
So
on
you get the
Spotify.
video and audio on that, but you can just listen to it as well. Well, that's cool.
So now you got 35 episodes to binge.
I may just listen to myself whenever
You
it gets put
might.
out.
I'm kind of
Man.
funny. So you guys have headphones in, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
So do you just listen to Audible?
Depends on my mood. Like that's what I tell a lot of people too. If my nerves are ever bothering me, I'm a Killers guy all day long. Killers. That they are
Great.
the band that
Mr.
will.
Brightside.
Oh yeah, boy. I mean, there's a handful of them. There's one, Be Still. That's
Okay.
like a go-to of mine. Just if your nerves are ever bothering you, you're in a shit situation, it's like, hey Siri, play this.
Noted.
And she gets it going. Anything to get your mind off of it sometimes, so you just get past. Like most people, like when we do 505, like we've all been doing this for years. You got to be seasoned and do it every day to be doing this. But still, it's like you wake up 5:45 a.m. just like, oh, I gotta go jump off a 50-story building in like 2 or 3 hours, and then you get up there and it's like, it'd be nice if the day is great. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a great day. The weather's nice, everything. But you get up there and it's like, damn it, boys, the wind's coming from this direction. We're going to be getting hit all day, getting blown off the wall, because it's one thing if your ropes are just sitting still.
Yeah.
And you're able to just chill, clean all. It's another thing if you're constantly just getting blown and having to hold on and
literally
like pivot your feet in y'all's gaskets,
No, so scary.
So, yeah.
I know you've been doing this for a while, but do you still get nervous like when you initially go over the edge?
Not when I go over the edge. No,
Really?
That doesn't bother me. It's for me, and I think it's what I'll talk to about a lot of people. I think for me, it is from when I fell sometimes. It will flash back in my head, like, when you're on a 50-story building. I'm not worried about falling. I'm not worried about that my gear's not going to work. I worry about how long it's going to take to get rescued if I can't rescue myself sitting there. You know what I mean? On that big of one. But that's just one thing you just have to be aware of, because the minute you get too comfortable doing what we do, that's when someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
And if anyone who does what I do ever tells you they've never been scared, they don't get fear, they're full of shit. Every guy I work with, and it don't matter how badass they are, they will tell you, oh God, that scared the shit out of me today, dude. If something happened to them,
Yeah. I would be scared the whole entire time.
Yeah, we've all had those situations, and you just see something going with your buddy next to you, and it's almost more scary because like when it's happening to you, it's like your senses will tighten up, that flight or fight flight or fight, I think that's what it is.
Fight or flight?
Yeah.
There we go.
And they'll tighten up and get you through the situation, and it's not till after the fact you're like, oh God, that could have went sideways, you know what I mean? But if you're sitting there and see something happen to your buddy, you're like, oh shit, because it's not happening to you.
Yeah,
But
you're
freaking out for him, you know what I mean? But that's another thing why I love who I work with, because when you work with people you trust, and like guys I work with, they're like my brothers, man.
Right, you care about them.
Yeah, I mean, one of them's been my best friend for 16 years.
Aww.
I'm like godparents to his kids.
Cute.
So it's just like, that's another video a lot of people like. I was on the phone with my son's school, and I was talking about him getting sick, and he had diarrhea because of his antibiotics. And Johnny's over there, he's like, hey man, it could be his antibiotics. Just over here, I'll be like, that is so sweet that he knows that. It's like, bro, we know everything about each other.
Window washers unite.
Yeah, it's I mean, we're up there all day. It's either
I was gonna say, you guys just chit chat all day long.
Depends. There's some days, where it's like,
you guys talk shit about people that you see in the window. You're like, damn, this girl sitting on Instagram.
No, we'll talk shit
you
about
guys
people.
Can talk shit about me.
We'll talk shit about people on the street. Sometimes that's always a highlight. I love people watching. So if you're ever on a building that's all glass and it is kind of windy, and like say you're working with some people that are a little bit slower than you, but you need to stay together, because like say I'm over here and all these people are over here and the wind's blowing this direction, so y'all want to stay together, because if I get lower than them and say all this glass is clean and they're up here, then they start going down, it's going to blow all their water onto my clean glass. So I'm going to want to stay with them. So sometimes it's nice. You can just go to a chiller pace, and I'll just be like half a floor down, maybe a floor.
Just watching.
And just turn around, just kind of gazing out at the city, just waiting, just looking and be like, what is this person doing down there? Just like commentating in your head, just that inner dialogue, just like, oh yeah, what are you doing? Why are you going to that coffee shop? You don't need coffee.
Ian Rose? Great.
Yeah.
Great coffee shop. What happens if you guys have to pee?
Man, I think we're just conditioned at this point.
Really?
Yeah. We go before, or now It
That
depends.
can't be healthy to be up there 7 or 8 hours and not peeing. You're probably
you're building
very
I go
dehydrated.
top to bottom on your building in 2.5 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's
You're
as long as
speedy.
yours takes me, but I'll do that twice in a day.
Okay.
But if it's a building like, LNC Tower on the other side of Meridian, it's Nashville's oldest high rise.
Oh, no. I'll have to check it out.
That one's got some big fin things. We call them louver drops. And we were doing a pressure wash drop that took like probably 7.5, 8 hours straight, just all of us on our boards. And luckily with these louver things right there, we all got buckets of, water and water bottles. I drank too much like halfway through. And I was like, oh man, this ain't happening. I had to like stand up and go into the wall and piss into a bottle, but sometimes
Wow.
you'll have to do stuff like that. But most of the time
What do you eat? Do you guys bring snacks? You bring little
I'll bring
snacks, little treats?
I'm a huge breakfast guy.
Okay.
Obviously, I love my breakfasts. But most of the time, like our crew, we don't take lunches a lot. We don't do it. We'd rather go to work and kill it for 6.5, 7 hours than
Be done.
and make our money, then stretch it out to a 9.5 hour day to take breaks, take a long lunch, take
true.
all that. Every one of us is like, no, let's just hammer it out. Go, 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 go.
The people wanted to know that. They got an answer. Let's talk about your TikTok following. Because that's actually how I came across, or how this person came across you who sent it to me, and now you're sitting here. What made you want to start, I guess, recording what you do for work and posting it on the internet?
Honestly, I had started recording videos for myself
Okay.
for 6, 7, 8 months and just editing them for myself because I loved window cleaning. I loved what I was doing. I loved seeing the buildings. I loved seeing the results. I loved it. I started dating this one girl.
Wait, how did you meet her? I'm sorry, I just have to ask.
Tinder.
I'm just perplexed how
shame.
people meet anyone in Nashville because
No
the dating
shame.
is so horrendous.
Oh, it's terrible.
Horrible.
It's terrible. I haven't tried in a hot minute now since because this
Same.
was years ago. But
Honestly, look, as someone who met someone also on Tinder that I'm currently seeing, support Tinder. Sponsor me, Tinder.
Yeah, it would be nice. But so anyways, she was talking to me one day and she sent me a video of an actual buddy of mine. Just some girl recorded him in the window and she was like, "Oh my God, would you ever do anything like this?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I said,
I do it all the
I said, "I
time."
have so much content." I said, "But mine's actually from my POV because it was just someone recording him from the inside
Okay.
on TikTok." She was like, "No way, you should put that online. People would love to see that." And I was like, I guess. I was like, I really don't care if 5 people like my content or 5 million. I do it for me, So I started putting it online, and there it went, man. It just went.
Really?
Yeah, it just went.
Do you remember like your first viral? Have you had like a viral moment?
The first viral video, the first one I got, I dropped in, it was right after it was snowing. I dropped in on a building and they were having a Zoom call and there was like a full group of people in there, a huge TV on the wall, camera pointed at me too, just drop in and they're like smiling, laughing. I was like, oh my God, so I had to do that. And that one jumped to like 5 million real quick.
Damn.
And then I put another one up after that. This is after I started getting paid by TikTok, like I told you, on the first account. And then I put another one up, and it got 2.7 million in like 8 hours.
Damn.
And then they flagged me for dangerous acts and banned that whole account, because you get that many views that fast, that many comments.
They're like, something's up.
Well, they got to pay more too, So that's like the minute you start taking money from TikTok, unless you're making a percentage off of like TikTok Shop, partnering with these other people, the minute like you start taking creator fund or any of that stuff from them, you are censored and throttled so hard. It's not worth it. And for me, I was just like, I don't care about the money from it. I don't. I just want people to see window cleaning.
He just loves window cleaning.
Just enjoy it.
Your first account had how many followers before it got deleted?
About 100,000.
And then it got deleted. Then you said you got a second one.
It's about 50,000, yeah.
50,000. Then it got deleted.
Yeah. That one, it's a funny story how that one got banned. It had nothing to do with window cleaning.
What did it have to do with?
I went out to Jason Aldean's rooftop bar, right?
I love me Aldean's.
I knew the DJ who was playing, and so I came back there with him. I was in, the private DJ area, and all the other people are out that way. And I was like, he was like, man, you should live stream it, give me some clout, you know? And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever, man. So I turned it on, started live streaming for him, showed him Jason Aldean's. All of a sudden, I was over on the side on that bar area right there. And I dropped my phone off the side of the wall. And I looked over the side to see if it hit the ground, but it just went down and landed on that sub ledge, like,
Okay.
I guess like half a story or so down, doing what I do. And it was facing up, so it was still live streaming. I told my brother, I was like, hey man, hold on to my legs. And I went down and crawled down there and got it, while it was live streaming, and came up with it. And it was like, came back, I was like, that was wild. And was talking to the live stream, and it was like 5 minutes later, it was like, alert, 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 dangerous acts, dangerous acts, dangerous acts, your account has been permanently banned. And I was like, damn it, again?
Not again.
It wasn't even window cleaning.
Who
this
knew
time.
that TikTok was so strict?
Right. Some of the stuff I see up there, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does my content get banned, but this is on here?
Yeah, but I mean, look, third time's a charm. Now your TikTok has 250,000 followers.
Yeah.
Which is freaking wild.
Yeah,
What's your goal
wild.
with the platform?
Really just didn't really have much. I mean, right now, this is my big thing. Right now, I'm a single dad. My son's nonverbal with autism. He talks with a speech device, and I've got him in private school, for autism. He's doing really well with that. He's my priority right now.
I love that.
I want to start my own company eventually. My boss has given me his blessing to back me and do it whenever he sells his, but he knows the same thing. Either start my own or continue to run his, one or the other. That's what me and our crew have talked about doing. Just each one of us running our own crew underneath his and just expanding it even more. But for me right now, it's just like, that's also why this career works so much, because I have to take my son to school every morning because there isn't buses to that school. So I don't drop him off till 8. I don't get downtown until almost 9.
Yeah.
Then start my work day. To still be able to make what I make and get off what I do. It's like, I know my mom, she'll go and she'll work at a warehouse. And I watch this woman work 12-hour shifts, working her fingers to the bone, killing herself, man. And she's not making a third of what I bring home in a day doing that. And it's just like, I'm content with where I'm at right now because I see how hard everyone else is right now. I know people, it's like that FedEx driver in that one video. I don't know if you watched it.
Okay.
Everyone wants to, talk about like, oh, other people are like, did you report him? Did you report him? Because you could probably find him. It's like, first of all, I'm not an ambulance chaser. I'm never going to do that. I said, second of all, I said, the dude probably got given 20 hours worth of deliveries and had to have them done in 10. I said, he screwed up. I said, I guarantee he don't do it again.
Yeah.
I said, he doesn't need me making his life worse.
Wait, for those who are listening who don't know about FedEx guy, it's on your TikTok.
Yeah,
I'll post it on
there.
the podcast. What can you fill them in on that video?
Yeah, I guess so, because a lot of people were a little confused on it. 'Cause
Okay.
when you're coming down and your ropes are down there, all of our ropes were tied down. They're like, oh, why don't you pull your ropes up? Why are your ropes in the way where they can get run over? It's like, first of all, they were all tied down, and they were tied down, but from where they get the slack in them, we were over a loading dock, where they load into those buildings. And so they were tied up to the side, but when they get the slack, they kind of slant over. So for him to back in, he untied them and moved them. And he backed in, which is fine. It's fine, whatever.
Wait, so but by him untying the ropes and backing his truck in, does that affect your safety?
It made it to where if the wind got really strong, you're not tied down there. But really, it's affecting everybody to the left, because if my ropes start blowing off in the street, that's like if you were coming on the front of 505 and see we tie our ropes down the front. Because if we don't and wind's hitting, it's blowing them all in that traffic, hitting people, all that stuff. So you just want to get them out of the way. But if it's not a windy day or not a big building, you can pull them up and tie them onto you, so they're not bothering anybody and out of the way down there. But in this situation, we couldn't. So he moved them, and then he goes to drive out, and they got caught underneath his tire. And so, and I feel it start to tighten. That's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you didn't get pulled out. And it's like, dude, I started to feel it tighten and pull me down here. So I suction on and just like holding. That's how I noticed it. I didn't see the guy. I felt it, And a lot of people are like, you didn't get pulled out. And it's like, the reason I knew what was going on is because I felt it and then looked down. But by the time I started yelling, dock security was already running out to his window at the same time, And so, and it's just like, he learned his lesson, and he didn't do it intentionally. It's like, I'm not that type of person. I'm just not.
Good for
I'm just
you.
not.
You also lived. I think it'd be different.
Yeah.
If someone dropped and they got injured, or they
if I
fell
died,
and they
then
died.
Yeah. If I died,
a little
then yeah.
different. You survived. I'm sure he learned his lesson.
Yeah.
He's not going to untie anyone from buildings anymore.
Or at least tie them back when you're done.
Yeah,
just
deliver
put it
your
back,
package and just rope them back up, leave them back where you found them.
Well, that's like on your building. When we do balconies, that's the only time we really run out of water. And it's like there's a few. Your building, I've never had to do it because there's always like an empty balcony you can time. But sometimes if you run out of water, you've got to tap on a few, and there's like tap tap tap, tap tap tap. Nashville high rise, if no one answers up.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. You got to go.
You guys are more than welcome to tap on mine anytime.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of people will refill it for you, but sometimes you can go in and use empty ones because those balconies are always unlocked. Always. Unless you lock your stuff. You think of how many people lock their balconies?
I don't have a lock on my balcony. I actually there is no lock on my balcony.
Maybe that's what it is with y'all's.
For anyone stalking me on the internet, I'm on the 21st floor. You cannot access my balcony. But yeah, there's no locks on my balcony, which is wild. But you're more than welcome. Come inside anytime.
There's a few. We'll have to go in when you're out of water and just you've been knocking and can't get anyone. You try and push it. You're like, I'm just trying to wait for him to do one, trying to wait, and you're just like, shit, I gotta risk it here. And you just open up someone's balcony, rush to their sink real quick, fill it up. Yeah, but you got to make it look like you weren't even there. You got to make it look like you weren't even there.
I'm literally dead. Yeah. The fact that you people and these high rises, they think they're safe paying all this money for rent. Well, guess what? People be coming in your apartment. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
But the thing is, for us to get to the access we have, we have to be trusted. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Y'all's building is great with us, and build management's great with us. But that's the thing. I know the owners who built your building. They come and talk to me, when they see us hanging because they love it. Just ask how we're doing, appreciate us. A lot of these buildings, they really appreciate us and what we do.
Yeah.
Some people look at you as the help, but a lot of people do not.
I simply would never, because I'm not going to go do that. I'm terrified. If someone was like, we're going to dangle you off a building, and I'd say, absolutely not. I'm way too scared. No, you guys are doing the Lord's work. Because not a lot of people, I feel like, would have the balls to do it. So
a lot of people think high rises don't even need to be cleaned. I guess they just think they don't get dirty.
Let me tell you, sometimes I have noticed. I'm like, where are my window washer friends? Because my windows are filthy, especially if it's floor to ceiling. Yeah, they get so dirty.
You live on poolside, right?
Yeah.
We're actually about to restore all your balcony glass, too.
Woohoo! I just bought a squeegee on Amazon.
Yeah.
I'm going to return it. I don't need that squeegee anymore.
Well, yeah, you see how it looks like it's all etched?
Yeah, it's filmy.
That won't come out without us restoring it. See, a normal clean isn't going to take that out. So that's why when we cleaned it this last time, I was talking to your owner about it because they've noticed it too. And we told them that's one thing great about your building, is they care. You can tell by y'all's quality of glass, how good your glass looks when we get done. How good it looks. You go look at, I don't want to name the buildings and put them on blast because I do them as well. But there's a couple other 30 to 40 really nice high rises around that Broadway area, that their glass is shit.
Well, that makes me feel better for how
even
much
after
I
you
spend
clean
on rent,
it, it's just, it's cheap, it's cheap. And my thing is, if they're cheap with that, what else are they cheap with? And I've also heard when 505 had that fire. Did you live there when they had that?
Don't get me started about the fire.
I heard they were really good to the people. Were they not?
They're lying. Whoever told you that, they weren't bad. It was just I didn't get any discount on my rent, and that was the most frustrating. And my unit was one of the one that was partially damaged.
Damn.
So I had people in and out of my drilling, pulling out my fridge, literally redoing the paint, the drywall,
just taking forever.
For weeks, for at least 2 weeks. I called them my working friends because
it's nice for me though.
They were just hanging out, but I also work from home. So I was the annoying girl being like, hey, me again, per my last email. It's the most annoying thing when people say, but I'm like, per my last email that you're ignoring, I'm like, I don't want to spend. I at least want my rent discounted if it's
And
not
did they
up to
not?
living.
They didn't
No,
do that at all?
no,
Because I heard they moved some people into the alcove.
they did.
They didn't
So
offer you that?
the
Or you-
way it worked is, so I'm poolside, and then there's people the other side. There are units completely underwater.
That's what I meant.
Like
When I said it was
damaged.
great for me when I did balconies. They were all empty.
Oh yeah,
No
great for
furniture.
you. Yeah, so you could
None.
see. So that they moved those out. Mine was on the other side, so it was partially damaged. So they didn't do that. They said you can break your lease, but I was like, no, I don't want to break my lease. I just don't want to pay when I got my working crew drilling
Yeah.
all day long in my apartment. And they said apparently the girl who lit her apartment on fire, you have to take it up with her and her insurance. And I was like, I'm too lazy.
I heard it was, what was it? Wasn't she cooking something?
She put a basket on her stove and it caught on fire. A woven
Damn.
basket. Yeah, I know. Not
She
the brightest
ruined it
bulb.
for everyone.
She really ruined it for everyone.
It's funny that I'm sitting here with you because about a year ago, or about a little over a year ago, I met another influencer in your building.
Oh,
I came down on the outside of her glass, and she was recording me and my buddy.
okay.
And put me on TikTok because she had a big TikTok following.
I wonder
and,
who it.
She's got I think 400,000, 500,000 followers. on there.
I got some
Her name's
competition.
Roxy.
Roxy.
She don't live there anymore. Ever since
Oh,
the fire,
damn.
she moved away. Yeah, 'cause
Okay,
we're still
well,
friends.
Listeners, besties, find me. You found Fletch the window washer. Find me Roxy the TikToker who lived in my building.
Yeah, she's still on TikTok.
Hell yeah!
I know
Let's
her.
get her on the pod.
You should.
Bring them all.
Yeah, but that's when she had to move away was because of that fire.
Yeah, that fire was a pain in the ass.
That
But you know what?
sucks.
It's fine. We got some beautiful windows that were super clean. A few more questions before we wrap up. What is the tallest building you've ever done?
505. It's the tallest in Nashville.
I don't know why I'm like bragging. I'm like, yes, it is.
They're building
Okay.
a 60-story though. We've already got the contract for that one too.
Okay, 60. So 29 floors is the highest. That's pretty freaking tall.
No, it'll be 60 stories.
But the highest that you've cleaned is 29.
No,
Oh, well, what's the highest you've cleaned?
505, 50 and down.
I thought we were 29 floors.
Resident side is.
Oh, so I'm not bougie like
after,
the other side.
After you, there's hotel the rest of the way up, and then penthouses.
So the high. Oh, wow.
You thought that big building was only 29? Don't you go click the button?
My side only goes up to 29.
Oh, that's right. You don't take the
I
high.
only see.
You take the low rise. You're in the low rise elevators. That's right. Yeah, there's two different sections. That's right.
I spend all this money on rent and I'm in the low rise elevator. How insulting.
Yeah.
Wow. So the other side goes up to 50?
Yeah, well, it goes up to 45 floors, and then there's
Damn.
like 2 more floors of like just blanks and shit.
Okay.
You know, just fake glass that actually doesn't get seen through. And then there's the
Oh.
parapet walls on top of that doesn't get seen through either. It still has to be cleaned, you know, but
people don't live
people
there.
don't see through it. No. Yeah, there's one guy who recorded me, I think on the 42nd or 43rd floor on your building. He tagged me in that on TikTok, and yeah, that his video went viral. It got a couple million views.
What the heck? You know what I'm going to do?
Hey, missed your chance.
Well, now you have my contact information, so I expect a nice little text when you're coming.
Just wiggle my rope.
Yes,
so you
wiggle
see
the
it.
rope, send me a text.
Smack your window, wake up.
You know my floor. And then because I have oh my God, I'm genius. I'm going to make you do something crazy. I don't know. We'll choreograph a dance or something. And then I will put that on TikTok, and that is my chance to shine because none of my videos go viral. So
TikTok and them dances.
it's fine. It's fine. We'll have practice and everything.
Half them dances I don't even understand.
Yeah, I don't get it either. They're a weird time to be alive, 2024. We're going to wrap up. I want to know the best part of your job and the worst part. Let's start with the worst. The worst part of your job, just give it to me straight, and then the absolute best part.
Man, that's a hard question.
There has to be one con.
I mean, the worst part, probably dealing with bad conditions, you know, and dealing with bad conditions, you know, and it's like, at the end of the day, it's like blue collar people are, you know, we make good money, but we're still really underpaid for what we do, you know, and most trades are across the, you know, board. You know, you look at some of these guys that are building these cities, these iron workers every day out there building these cities, you know, and they're making 1/10 of what someone sitting at a desk working at a Shurion is making.
Someone on TikTok is what, what
you
they're
know,
making.
and it's like, it's disappointing, it's disappointing, and that's upsetting, but it's kind of a double-edged sword because most of those people hate their jobs. Most of those people, when I go on the insides, and I hate having to do the interiors of office buildings because I do the interiors of office buildings.
Okay.
And it is monotonous and boring and just...
imagine people have to do that all day long, sitting at a desk. Awful.
But imagine having to go through the floor and clean the windows. I hate that, on the inside. Yeah. But on the outside, that's also where I love it. I'm always somewhere different. I'm always on a different building. I'm always seeing new people. I go to HCA. There's people security there, cafeteria people there that know me. I get to see these friends for this 2 or 3 week period. Now I'm going to this part of town. I get to see these friends I haven't seen in months. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm a big people person. So I love seeing all the people. And I love, when I am outside on the window and someone comes and smacks on it, it's like, yo, it's you. It gets really excited,
that's precious.
Or they're down at the street, yell up and take pictures and get excited, It's like when I can bring people joy and it brings them joy, when we come down on 1222 Murray, we came down one day with 2 speakers synced, 5 of us just rocking out.
Wait, I want you guys to do that next time you're at 505.
All these ladies and dudes got it from their desks, had their phones out, taking selfies and coming up, and they were just laughing, having a good time. And it's like, so we were probably the highlight of their day. Aww. You know what I mean? So it's just you bring a lot of joy and a lot of fun in it, a lot of camaraderie, with your buddies, a lot of trust in them, because I love those guys I work with, and I every one of them would do anything for me as I would for them. It's just, you can't find that a lot of places. And the boss I work for, we have a 4th of July party. Tells me to bring my son. Who's in the pool playing with my son? Who's playing cornhole with my son? And stops everyone. It's like when he was out of school for 2 weeks, my boss was like, this building you used to rappel. He was like, but I'm gonna have you use a water-fed pole on it since you have your son this week. You can just bring him with you every day. You know what I mean? So I have my son bringing hoses and doing all this kind of stuff, helping.
Awesome.
So it's there's a lot of perks to it, man, and it's just, I'm happy with what I do. Yeah. And I know a lot of people can't say that.
No, I'd say majority of people in this day and age can't. So
like my brother, he the one in California in computer forensics, he had to do a lot of that stuff, but dealt with not Epstein's case, but people like Epstein and child predators and stuff like that. And how much it messed him up having to go in and recover that footage, recover that stuff for court cases, and how it's hurt him and messed with him having to see that. It's just he hates what he does. He makes good money, but he hates it, and it's slowly eating away at part of him. It's I'd rather take the physical beating, than that any day. So
yeah. Oh my gosh, there's more to life than just a paycheck. So
exactly, man.
Wow. Okay. I meant to talk about this, but really quick, can you just tell the people, because I don't think anyone realizes how cool. I mean, they obviously know how cool you are because you just did this podcast, but can you tell them the award that you were nominated for? Because I think that's so cool.
It's just amongst a bunch of window cleaners every year.
But that's cool. There's a lot of window washers. Don't downplay your accomplishments,
window
Fletch.
Cleaner of the year. One of these next few years, I will have it.
Yeah,
I will get it.
He was nominated for window washer of the year.
I'll get it one of these years.
He's going to get it. And then we're going to have to run it back for round 2 on the podcast.
I'll be on their podcast in 2 weeks. It should be it's in March. So
what? There's an official window washer podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's great. It's a bunch of laid back people like you and me.
Just chilling, talking about window washing.
Bunch of chill dudes.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna go listen. Amazing. Okay, well, Fletch, I want everyone to follow you on TikTok because your TikTok is cool. Where can they follow you?
Do you actually search? Does it show Fletch when you look at my videos, or does it show Squagga
I actually did look at it before because I was curious your last name, and it didn't say Squagga Wagga.
Squagga Wagga. Yeah.
Squagga Wagga 2.
2. Yeah. Because there was a 2.0, and then I just did 2 on the third one. I was like,
because once you get to 3 accounts, and you're like, I'll take whatever I can get.
Done with this.
All right. Well, Squagga Wagga 2 on TikTok. 254.
I need to get, but see, you've got the Instagram on lock, though. You go to my Instagram followers, it's 2000.
Don't bother. Instagram's a dying
ours
platform.
are flipped.
Stick with old TikTok. That's where everyone's going. That's where the cool kids are now.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that's my biggest thing is I love getting to kids, man. The amount of kids that reach out to me, like that youngest, he's just turned 23. I got him, and he's been working with us for about 6-7 months now, and he's a little beast now.
Okay.
But that's one thing. If I can get to kids before they go through that phase like I did when I got out of high school, didn't know what I was doing, and just got into nothing but trouble and screwed my life up for a while. If I can get to them and give them a career, give them something that's like not going to McDonald's, not going to college, not going to some just stupid shit. 'Cause there's wild kids like me that aren't afraid of heights that would love it. If you can give them that opportunity and that chance of a life, it's like, man, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So that's you can't beat that. You know.
Wholesome dude. What a wholesome time. Wow. I feel like going to save the world, run for office, save children, maybe wash some windows. Stay
out of politics for me.
Fletch, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I've had so much fun. And next time you're at 505, I will require you to text me.
I will let you know.
I'll get to choreographing a dance for us.
Okay. I don't know how well I'll do dancing on the outside.
You'll do great. Oh my gosh. Well, besties, thanks so much for listening. And yeah, that's all I got for you. See you next week. Thanks so much for listening to the Your Internet Best Friend podcast. It's been real. It's been fun. And I will see everyone here next week. In the meantime, do all the podcast things. Like, subscribe, give me a 5-star review if you please. And catch up with me on social media at Morgan Lee Willette. Bye, besties.